Hey guys, so I wanted to make this quick video. Something that's recently started happening with my 2009 Yaris. Now this car's got a lot of miles on it. It's got 390,000 miles on it. But if you can hear, there's kind of like a humming noise. And let me get going faster so you can see what I'm talking about. That howling. Anyway, that started I want to say about a month ago, and I've been going crazy trying to figure out what it was. I changed out my two front wheels, which have been bent up from potholes and whatnot, and then the tires need to be changed anyway. Rebalanced the rear wheels, and the noise continued. At this point, I'm starting to lean towards wheel bearing because the car does have a lot of miles on it. So I'm going to put it up on jack stands when I get to the house, and we'll try to determine if it's the front wheel bearings or if it's a rear wheel bearing. Alright, stay tuned. Alright, so we got the Yaris up on jack stands. Or actually, 3 of the wheels are up on jacks. The left rear is still on the ground. But let me show you guys how you can check your wheel bearings. And I like to do the spin test, because if it's not making any noise when it's spinning, chances are that's not the issue. So I'm going to go ahead and spin this one. Spin it again. And the choo 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 choo, that sound, that rubbing sound, that's the front brake pads. Again, that one sounds fine. Let's come back over here to the other side, the rear. Let me get you guys in close so you can hear it real good. Anyway, so that's the culprit. It's the rear bearings are shot. At least the one on this side is shot, but I'm going to go ahead and replace both of them. I figured if this one has already thrown in the towel, the next one is probably not far behind, if not in the same condition as this one. So anyway, I ordered my parts from Rock Auto. They got really good deals. I'll put all the links in the video description. That way, if you guys have a Yaris that is recently started humming, making a bunch of racket, this is probably the fix. Now the front, thankfully it's not the front wheel bearings. Eventually they'll have to be replaced, but for right now they're still good. That's more of a process to replace, but these back ones are not that difficult to replace. And I already took the tire off, and I also pulled off the drum brake. So what I'm going to do next is loosen the bolts that hold this hub on, and let me get you in close so you can see exactly how they're held in here. So there's this thing has some holes in it, and what you do is you line up the hole with the bolts that hold it, and then you just take them off, rotate the thing, get to the next one, and just keep doing that till you get them all out. Alright, so let me set you guys here up on the tripod, and we'll take this thing apart. And I can't remember exactly what size this is. I think it's a 14 millimeter maybe. Let's see. Yeah, it's a 14 millimeter. this car has a ABS plug on the back. So let me show you that. Let me show you that plug. Let's see if I can get in here. See it. So right there, that plug, this plug right here, has to come off. All right, so this plug has a cover on it. So, and you can get to it by just lifting up this one side a little bit. And it probably has another one at the bottom. So I think maybe what I may have to do is, let me see, does this thing have enough play to come out? No, not really. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is, all right, I'm gonna unscrew this bracket altogether. I'm not sure if you guys can see that bracket. Let's see if I can angle you guys over here. So I'm gonna unscrew this bracket to give myself some more play. And it's a 10 millimeter. That way when I take the bearing hub off, I can work on the plug. Yeah, the plug has kind of like a funky cover on it. It doesn't allow me to take it off or unplug it. All right, so that should give me plenty of space. All right, again, we need the 14 millimeter. Wow, these things are all tight. All right, those bolts are tight, so what I'm using is a breaker bar. And this bearing may not want to come out of here. So I'm not going to take the bolts out all the way because I'm gonna probably hammer on this thing a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna hit it with a puller. All right, guys. Here's what I'm gonna use to remove this. So that's a slide hammer with a thing that'll go on the hub. So let me get this thing installed, and then we'll pull this thing out of here. And I gotta be careful because the whole brake assembly is attached to it. So that's why I'm not taking the bolts out all the way. I'm just gonna hit it a couple of times to try and break it loose. Hopefully it'll come out. And once you thread the tool in, it's got a nut that goes on the inside. So I'm just going to put the nut on. All right, I'm going to give it a little whack. I'm going to try whacking it again. Yeah, it's coming. it's it looks like it's attached to the to this cover here. So I gotta get this cover off. Let me see how I can do that. I'll put this bottom bolt back in. I'm gonna try to pry it with a. So this housing is stuck. This thing is stuck on the housing. And you got to be careful with this. You can't bend this, because if you do, none of your brake components are going to line up properly. So I don't want to get too crazy with it. I'm going to try a little penetrating lubricant and see if maybe we can break it loose. Alright guys, I'm going to try some liquid wrench. And I'm just going to put the liquid wrench, I don't want to put it near the brakes, but I'm going to put it back here. Alright, so what I'm going to try to do is, let me show you. So I got this, right now I got it, I'm gonna hold it up against, I'm gonna hold this part, the part of the bearing. You can see the bearing is sticking out past this shield. It's this lip right here, this outside lip, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this up against the axle. And then I'm going to, on this side, I'm going to put this thing over here, right in between this spring. Kind of hard to see. See this? So I'm going to put it up against the spring, up against the back plate, and I'm just going to gently tap it. I don't want to whack on it too hard because I don't want to bend this thing. So let me get you. All right, guys. So what I'm doing is I'm putting my I'm putting an extension in here. And it's up against the back plate. I'm wedging the bearing up against the inside of the outside lip of the axle, and I'm just tapping it side to side to try to get it to come loose from the drum brake back plate. I'm just side to side. You can't get too rough with these things because you'll mess them up. It looks like it's moving ever so slightly, but it's moving. Where it's not moving much is up here. I may have to hit that with like a big flathead screwdriver. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm getting right above the bracket. I'm try to hit this and see if it'll. Problem is you got nothing to grab onto. Actually, this might work. So I was able to get one of the screws. See if I can get this top one back in there. See if I can get the screws in there, then I can pry up against the Guys, it's coming out. It's almost out. Almost out. I'm gonna try taking those bolts off and see if the thing is free already. It's gotta be right there. Hopefully I didn't bend up this bracket. Ask me how I know they're easy to bend, because I bent one already. Here it comes. Here it comes. There it is. Wow. What a nightmare, man. Jeez. All right. And the reason that this happens is because there's no anti-seize lubricant on this. They had put anti-seize lubricant on it from the factory. This wouldn't be happening right now. It would be real easy to take off. All right, so now I'm just battling with this little clip here to get this connector off of here. All right, so to get this thing off, you just push down on this clip here. Hopefully I can do it without breaking it. There it is. Wow. So it's all this rust over here that seized it to this part. So I'm gonna clean up all this rust off of here. It doesn't look like I damaged this, so that's good. And then we'll replace it. All right, so all I'm using is a little wire brush, and I'm using it on the. See if I can get you guys in here in different angles so you can see better. Anyway, there's an opening over here. You should be able to see it there. And all I'm doing is hitting the inside of this with the brush. And then the new part should just slide right over here, no problem. And I'm gonna clean this up a little bit because I got grease and crap all over it from the liquid wrench, and I don't want that stuff getting on the brakes. So let me clean that up real quick. All right, so now what I did is I put a couple of the bolts back in here just to hold this, so that I can get in here and use the brush on the inside of the axle where the bearing is going to slide into. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply anti-seize lubricant to the inside of this, this brake back plate, and I'm also going to put it in between the brake back plate and the axle. That way when we slide the bearing in and put everything back together, if we ever have to take it apart, it'll be a piece of cake. because right now it's been a tremendous struggle taking this thing out of here. All right, so I'm gonna put the anti-seize lubricant on this little paper towel. This stuff makes a real mess, and you don't need a lot, just a little bit. And first, I'm gonna apply it to. If I can get in here. Let's see. Do this. Alright, and then through this hole, you just apply it to the inside of the bearing well. I'm also going to make sure that I put some around here. I'm also going to put some on this side of the side where the bearing hub meets with the rear drum back plate. You want to make sure not to get this stuff on your brake shoes, but you can get it on here, no problem. Alright, so here's our new part. And again, I got these at Rock Auto, and they were about 38 bucks each, which is a bargain. You go to the dealer and they'll really slam you with these things. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the ABS sensor back on. I'm just going to fish that through this hole here. Reinstall it. And then put our cover back on. If I can remember how it goes back on. Alright. And then the round side goes up, so the plug is also facing up. And this whole thing just slides back in there. And aligning all of this can be tricky. Because what's tricky about this is that you're fighting the tension of the emergency brake. Alright, so I got one of the bolts on. And then the last one. And of course I drop it. And these things get tightened up to 75 foot-pounds. Before I torque everything down, I want to make sure that my brakes are going to go back on. Let's see here. So this thing got shifted. Let's move these things. Let's see. Let's try it now. Okay, there it goes. Alright guys, so 75 foot-pounds. Not sure if you can see that. Anyway, there's 70 and 5 right there. And I'm just gonna try to tighten them evenly, a little bit at a time. There's 1, 2, 3, and there's the last one. Alright, so now we're just reassembling everything. Clean up any grease that you got everywhere. And it's probably not a bad idea to put some anti-seize lubricant on here too. That way taking the brake rotor off will be a piece of cake. Or the drum. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply it on the inside here. It's easier than having to go around and work around these studs. So again, a little bit goes a long way. Nice thin coat. And this will keep the these two metals from seizing. It's good right there. You want to make sure you don't have any globs of it anywhere. Alright, so I'm going to put back my little bracket here for the ABS plug. And this is a little 10 millimeters, so it doesn't have to be very tight. Make sure that one's on there, yeah. Alright, and now I'm going to reinstall my wheel. And lug nut torque on the 2009 Yaris is 78 foot-pounds. I got to put it down on the ground to get the full torque on it. But I'm going to get it started now. And if you guys remember in the first segment, when I showed you the problem it was having, listen to it now. Alright guys, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, turn on your notification bell, and leave me some comments. I love reading the comments and do my best to get back to you guys as soon as I can. Alright guys, till the next video, take care.